Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at AutoNation Honda in Clearwater, Florida, and I have that one top-selling compact sedan in the automotive market that keeps breaking records every single year. Is this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Honda Civic. This one though is a Civic Hybrid Sport Touring trim. But before we get into this rally red fuel sipper of a Civic, let's talk about what's going on here. So hybrid technology is still really available to consumers, and what's nice is there's many cars that maybe didn't have hybrid technology that are now getting that technology for better fuel economy. The Civic had already been offered as a hybrid a few generations ago, and then it disappeared. But now it's back, and it's back with a whole new updated hybrid system to not only give you extra oomph when you go on throttle, but also allow you to keep passing those gas stations and not have to fuel up as often as maybe you would on a non-hybrid Civic. The Civic's been around since the 1970s, and of course, there's some really tough competition from that hometown rival in Japan, the Toyota Corolla Hybrid. But what I want to find out is if you're looking for sporty style, sporty driving experience, but you want to be mindful of those MPGs, is the Civic Hybrid, especially the Sport Touring trim, the way to go? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this rally red version and find out. Right off the bat, the overall dimensions. Ever since 1973, the birth of the Civic has grown in size. The great news is that when it comes to the Civic, it's going to be bigger than previous generations, but it's also going to give you a lot of extra room on the interior. Now, before I jump in, I want to kind of turn on the headlights because I want to just show you how nice those headlights are and really give you an idea of what is going on with that technology. So with the Civic, you'll notice up front we got all LEDs, LED headlights, daytime running lamps, and turn signals, nicely blended into a sporty style of housing. On the Hybrid, I like the way they paint the bodywork underneath, the sort of eyeliner underneath the headlights. On other trims, they don't do that, and it would be flat black. So it's nice to see it all rally red. Massive corner air curtains, and they really made them super aggressive to give the Civic a little bit more of a presence, whether it's going down the road or sitting still. You do have the flat black splitter that goes across. All of these things are there not only for looks, but also for aerodynamic efficiency. Now, as we come across that classic badge, Shishiro Honda, the Honda badge, you have gloss black on the upper grille, flat black on the lower grille, all functional. And then I like the way on the Sport Touring trim they take the rally red and they put it along the lower lip splitter there. It's better than it just being flat black. But let me know what you think about the face of this Civic Hybrid, especially compared to the Corolla Hybrid. This, to me, is the better way to go. It's the better looking one, but remember, like I keep telling Steven, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Now, as we rise up, you got that nice smooth curve into the hood that's mostly just a flat plateau. And then as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So what you're gonna find on the Sport Touring trim of the Civic Hybrid is you're gonna have these 18-inch wheels, machined aluminum with that nice satin gunmetal gray finish, multi-spoke wheel. Tires are gonna be 235 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and yes, the Civic is still only available front-wheel drive, whereas the Corolla, you could get that all-wheel drive. With this being a Sport Touring, you do get a little bit sportier feel to the suspension, the way that they tuned it, and the steering as well. And then, of course, that rally red. It's funny, on previous generations, I really wasn't in love with rally red. Even on my old FK8 Type R, rally red, I had a rally red version, and it was nice, but I didn't love it as much as I love rally red on the newer gen, the 11 gen of the Civic. Now, coming down the side, you're gonna get gloss black on your mirror caps. You'll notice your slim and trim turn signals. Up top, you do get a standard size sunroof. And then from the side, even though most people say, oh, this is as big as an Accord, it is not. It has grown over the years, but it's still not as big as an Accord. An Accord is a midsize. Color matched on the door handles, color matched all the way down, even on the side skirt extension. And then as we work our way towards the rear, just like the bigger brother, the Accord, you get a nice size rear quarter window. Coming around the back, simple, clean, that's all we need. LED on the taillights. The one zonk I have is, why are we using old-fashioned light bulbs on a 2025 model year vehicle? That's a big zonk. But you'll notice on the passenger side, it's all about the badges. Sport, Touring, and the hybrid badge. And then of course, working it down to ground level, it's all body color except for just a little bit of flat black. Let me know if you think there should be some exposed exhaust. I think that would have been a nice touch. But still, the back of the car looks great. Why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood, and we could talk about this 5th generation. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I'm not gonna zonk it because all the competition has a prop rod. Underneath the hood is that hybrid setup. You have your tried and true 2-liter inline 4 naturally aspirated engine paired to those electric motors, that new 5th gen hybrid system. So what do we have? 200 horsepower, 232 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 1.1 kilowatt lithium ion battery pack. It uses a direct drive transmission, 0 to 60 in 6 seconds flat, which actually makes it faster than the Honda Civic SI. Top speed is governed to 116 miles an hour. Here's where you're really gonna win is MPGs. 50 in the city, 47 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs right around 3,225 pounds. So the nice thing is that you still have the availability of non-hybrid Civics, but boy, oh boy, going the Civic Hybrid, you get the better acceleration and you get the way better MPGs. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and see it roll. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid Sport Touring trim. This is the top trim for the sedan. Obviously, you could get it as a hatchback as well. I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, I got to pull the trigger soon. I need a good compact with awesome fuel economy. How much is this? So the way that this one is optioned has an MSRP of $31,000. Let's see how it stacks up to the Corolla Hybrid, to the door panels. Love the simple, clean style. Soft touch material. There is some gloss black, but you're not going to be touching it, so it's not a big deal for fingerprints. Soft on the armrest with some nice stitching, and then that trim that's around the switchgear for the windows and the door locks, that's actually anti-fingerprint material. It won't put fingerprints on it whatsoever. Door pocket is a good enough size for an Arby's beef and cheddar, some curly fries, and a root beer to wash it down. Now going from the door panel to the dash, love the honeycomb finish. Never liked honeycomb cereal as a kid, but I like the honeycomb finish with the mesh. You got your Bose sound system. Slide on in. Sport Touring trim gets the 9-inch infotainment system, all the Google goodies, the Google Assistant, the Google Maps, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and then all of the familiar apps that you know from Honda. We even have the power flow because we can show how that power is getting to the ground and everything, which is nice. Throw it into reverse, backup camera is terrible. There's no other way around it. It almost looks like we're underwater with that, but what's nice is you do have trajectory to make you look like you know how to back up. And then we're right back where we started. Nice switch gear with some clickety clack clack. You do have 3 stages of heated seats. Ventilated seats would be a nice touch. 2 USB-Cs, a 12-volt wireless charging. There's more of that. Look at that. No fingerprints, Mom. You should be proud of me. This is going to control your direct drive transmission. You got your different drive modes, which if you look back at the infotainment system, it actually has cool graphics. Steven's all about the graphics. He loves reading graphic novels, and the graphics just really make his heart pitter-patter. And you could even set up the different preferences, which are nice, and it kind of shows the Civic there, which is kind of cool. You do have your 2 cup holders, standard Honda key fob, nothing wrong with that. Looks good. Nicely padded armrest with some stitching. Open it up. Wow, Steven is going to be happy. He could actually put his Switch game system in here and 4 graphic novels, 4 Japanese graphic novels. So really, really nice to have that for Steven. And then the seats, leather, not pleather. Stitching is great, nice bolstering, electric assist for the passenger, electric assist for the driver. Love the way we have a dark headliner and we have a sunroof. But once you come over here to the business end, I want to show you behind the wheel in the Civic. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. What's nice is because this is a sport touring trim, you do get an aluminum brake pedal and an aluminum throttle. It would be nice to have an aluminum dead pedal. That makes me sad. You do have power seat controls, easy to get to, all within fingertip reach. Seats in Civics are so comfortable and supportive. They know what they're doing. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. Steering wheel, the leather, the contrast stitching, the flat black on the switchgear. You have paddles, but they're not for shifting. They're to adjust the regen braking. It is a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you have that 10.25-inch digital gauge cluster, which has information that you could scroll through. Plus, when you go into the different modes, it changes the setup of the display, which is kind of nice. But why don't we go ahead? We talked about the people sitting up front. Let's get in the back seat and see how your passengers are going to like this Civic Hybrid. All right, guys, back seat time. Now, the great news is on a Civic, especially compared to a Corolla, you have a lot more room. The bad news is that's all that's back here is room. You don't get a pocket behind the driver's seat. No connectivity. This is like the insult. This is where I feel like I got kicked in the groin because there's no USB-Cs, no USB-As, no air vents. I do have a pocket here so I could keep a couple books, some magazines, maybe some Mad Libs. I used to love Mad Libs as a kid, especially on family road trips. They're a lot of fun. And that's the thing is, everybody's on their damn phone. Nobody interacts anymore as a family. Sad, even when they're at dinner. Fold this down. Woo! Soft as could be. 2 cup holders. Everything looks just like it does up front, but I would like some connectivity ASAP. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the back trunk area and see how much room there is in this compact Civic. All right, guys, trunk space. The amazing thing is they got it down at Honda. You're not losing any trunk space. 15 cubic feet of space, even with this being a hybrid. You do have the 60-40 split for the seats to fold down. Do we get a spare? No spare. There's your spare. Can of flat fix and an electric air compressor. But that's something that they do to save weight because weight hurts MPGs and MPGs hurt your wallet. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready, let's go take this Civic Hybrid for a spin and see how it drives. All right, guys, we're leaving AutoNation Honda in Clearwater and we are behind the wheel of this 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid Sport Touring. Now, I have it in sport mode and I have the Power Flow display on the infotainment system, just to give you an idea of if you're not familiar of how a hybrid vehicle works. It's kind of cool to have that graphic there. And the fact that the 9-inch infotainment system is full color, you have the whole Google suite of different features to help you as you're driving and, you know, going on those family road trips and everything, or just using this, like I said, as that daily driver to maximize your MPGs. It's nice to have that new technology. Everything is well within reach. I know some people don't love the sort of iPad style infotainment system, but it doesn't bother your view out the windshield. And like I said, it's just such within reach. It's really, really nice. Dual climate control, and then that full digital gauge cluster as well. But what we're gonna do is I wanna show you how the hybrid helps with acceleration. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So you have the simulated shifts, which is gonna make it feel more natural to you. And what's great is that you have that instant torque. That's the thing that makes this new generation Civic Hybrid so freaking good, is that the way that the motors work with the internal combustion engine, you get the torque right away from those motors, which gives you that oomph. And that's what I think you're really gonna enjoy with the driving, is that a lot of times when you have a car that's good fuel economy wise, usually they're a slug when it comes to acceleration. This is not like that. You have some good get up and go, But then, like I said, to have those crazy MPG numbers in this vehicle just really magnifies how versatile the Civic Hybrid is. But when you go sport touring, you're not going to miss out on anything, because you're getting the Bose sound system, you're getting the dual power seats up front, which is fantastic, and just the driving aspects of the Civic, the way they tune the suspension, the steering, it's almost like every Honda has a little bit of Civic Type R sprinkled in it. And I think that's another thing you're really going to enjoy, is you really feel connected. If you compare this to an Elantra hybrid or a Corolla hybrid, it's a little bit more vague on steering feel, throttle input, and all that. With this vehicle, it's very, very direct. And that's something that Honda does with all of their vehicles. But you have that nice size digital gauge cluster. You could scroll through a cornucopia of different information, and visibility in this car is fantastic. Plus, you're getting all the great and latest Honda sensing technology to keep you and your family safe. But going down the road, it really rides well. They've done a great job with the chassis, the suspension, and of course, like I said, the handling, which is really a big plus. Those paddles I showed you, you use those paddles for adjustment of regen braking. And I really, really think that that is a nice, smart addition to have with the hybrid setup that you don't get on the competition, where you could just easily change the amount of regen braking that you have. It's going to help with the range, and it also helps you when it comes to slowing down and braking. All right, if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. So like I said, that instant throttle, and then of course the steering in this car is very, very precise, very direct. And don't think that because it's a compact car, you have a total compact experience. It's not like that. You actually are getting a lot of trunk space, and you have a ton of passenger volume, especially compared to the Toyota Corolla. But I hope that this has been a good overall review of what this Civic Hybrid is all about. We're gonna get back to AutoNation Honda and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways here at AutoNation Honda. Definitely gotta thank Ricky and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid Sport Touring Trim. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you think. Are you going Corolla, or are you gonna go Civic? Me personally, I'm going Civic. That's just the way I roll, literally. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Got to give it out to Stephen Flood. The other day, believe it or not, he actually saved this elderly woman who was crossing the road and she wasn't paying attention and almost got hit by a car. So because of his physique and his well-trained muscles from his workout regimen, he was able to rescue that woman, and he actually made the local news. So congratulations, Stephen, for being just a good guy. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.